Welcome to this video on the role of courts in arbitration. In this video, we'll try and understand what role courts play in this out-of-court mechanism. We will start with what role do courts play before an arbitration, during an arbitration, and after an award has been rendered. To start with before an arbitration. We've discussed in some of our earlier videos that where there is an arbitration agreement, the parties have to go to arbitration. The courts ensure that the parties comply with this. So if one of the parties chooses to deviate and file a suit in the court will refer those parties to arbitration. Once an arbitration is to be commenced, we've seen in our earlier videos that it is possible that the parties may not agree with each other on the appointment of the arbitrator. The court again step in here to assist the arbitration process by appointing an arbitrator, and if there's a challenge to the arbitrator, to consider the challenge to the arbitrator. Like we've discussed earlier, this is only the case where the parties have not agreed to some other method of appointing an arbitrator. Before an arbitrator is appointed, it is possible that the parties feel the need for some interim relief. You will remember from some of our earlier videos that an interim relief is in the nature of an urgent remedy that cannot wait until the end of the arbitration. Sometimes it may not be able to wait even for the commencement of the arbitration. In those circumstances as well, the courts assist the parties by allowing them to approach the court for the limited purpose of seeking interim relief. Once the arbitration process is underway, a bulk of the work is done by the arbitrator himself or herself. Even in this process, like we've considered in earlier modules, it is possible that the court's assistance may be required. This may be, for instance, where you might want the court's assistance with getting a witness to attend the hearing, or to get some documents which are not in the custody of the parties. Or you may also want some interim relief against some third party who is not a party to the proceedings and in respect of whom the arbitrator cannot grant an interim relief. In all of these circumstances, the court comes to the party's assistance. The Indian Arbitration Conciliation Act also sets certain time limits within which the arbitration has to be completed. The courts once again play a supervisory role and ensure that the parties stick to these time limits. If for whatever reason the time limits are not adhered to, the courts once again step in to extend these time limits if so required, and maybe even sanction the arbitrators or the parties if they are delaying the arbitration. Once the arbitration is completed, i.e., an award is rendered, the arbitral tribunal's functions comes to an end. After that, the courts once again step in to lend their assistance. Here, they can do it in one of two ways. First, if one of the parties is dissatisfied with the decision, he can approach the courts for seeking a setting aside of that award. In this process, the courts, in the limited grounds they have available, consider the validity of that arbitration award, and they have the right to set it aside if they feel that for whatever reason it does not comply with the necessary requirements. If everything is fine with the award, then the parties can also approach the court seeking enforcement. Now, when it is the courts that are approached for the purposes of enforcement, the state lends its machinery to assist the parties to get what the party is owed under the arbitral award. These may be in the nature of execution proceedings, where the parties can do one of very many things that they can, including attachment of property, sending police to try and get the party compelled to comply with the award, etc. These are the myriad ways in which the court tries to assist the parties in an arbitration, both from the beginning of the arbitration right up till the very end.